it's hard to differentiate between an obsession and what was it, an addiction. Because basically, the way I think about it, the way I've come to understand the word addiction is if you plan your day around it, similar to like an alcoholic or something like that. So you plan your day around the next drink you're gonna have and when you're gonna have another shot and blah blah blah. So basically, to a certain extent, it is an obsession, but you could say that it's just like being very, very, very passionate about what you like. You know what I mean? So depending on what the shoe is, I might be obsessed to the point of addiction, but I'm pretty enthusiastic about most shoes.
It's frustrating, but if you're a sneakerhead or you're into your trainers, you do whatever you do to get the trainers. It's like your fix. You need to have it.
Well, I can say that I've probably wanted to start collecting earlier than I actually did start collecting. So like I met a few of my friends like I'd say maybe like 6 years ago now. And yeah, dude had about 30 odd pairs of trainers. They weren't relatively special or unique, but like he had always had like a few different pairs of fresh Air Force Ones, a few different pairs of Air Maxes, some TNs, and yeah, he was like fresh about how he portrayed himself. And I was really like, damn, I need to up the levels like that. So when I started making a bit of money a few years later, I bought my first pair of Jordans. When did they come out? The Black Cement 3s? I think they came out 2010. I know it was Christmas time. I know when the Black Cement 3s came out, that was when I was fully adamant that I'm going to continue with collecting as many Jordans as I can get because I put them on and instantly I realized I knew what I was missing, what the hype was about. At least with like the comfortability factor. Not about the swag and all that nonsense and the hype. It was literally just a really dope shoe. One of the most comfortable I've worn for quite a while.
Originally, it was Nike SBs because of the concepts that they brought. So, starting from like, I think my first one that I really saw was the De La Soul lows, and obviously the concept behind the artwork for the album, put on the sneaker, I thought was wicked. Great concept, and then obviously got into more and more of it. Yeah, and now I am later, like with all different kinds of trainers, so like Air Maxes, Asics, New Balance, the lot.
I'll keep them as fresh as possible, but I'll always have a wear. Like there's only about 5 or 6 pairs out of my 80 plus which I haven't worn yet. Every other pair I've given them at least a day. Like there's some which are about 3 years old and they've only had about 5 wears, but they've still been worn.
I've held out wearing some for like maybe a year or so just because I want to wear them on like a special occasion. So depending, it's the weather as well. If the weather's not great, then I won't wear them.
So yeah, it's pretty much it's crazy because most stores would probably have like 11 and 12 as their largest possibly, and if they're lucky, they might have like an odd shoe as a size 13. So being size 14 is just like near impossible to find a shoe. I can never ever walk into a shop, pick something off the shelf and ask it for my size and then walk out with it. That's like only happened once.
The most extreme thing is, I'll basically just try and call in as many favors as I can. Obviously, when you start collecting, you get talking to a lot of people. You just try and call in as many favors as you can, basically. So, I made a few phone calls to a few mates and see if they've been able to help me out. A few times I've been able to, secure a pair, but not all the time, unfortunately.
So I think it's dope, like stuff like eBay and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. It spreads the word more, so it gives it more accessibility to people who don't have like a local Nike. It's expanded. So like say someone in Tahiti could go on Instagram and be like, boom, I want those, and like FedEx that over, you know what I'm saying? So like somebody in the middle of nowhere wherever, Bora Bora, some like crazy little islands, they can still have like a little sneaker collection of their own.
Prep City, Sneaks and Peaks have helped the industry grow. I think it's become like almost like a meeting place for a lot of sneakerheads to talk and, you know, trade trainers, or like I said, to go and see people's collections.
No doubt about it at all. This gets people talking, you know, online, socially before the event, but also it brings everyone together. And you know, being on the two Soul Heaven stands today, I've met people from Bristol, Southampton, Aberdeen. It really does draw people far and wide, and that's great for the community because people are able to put names to faces. Everyone knows people's Instagram handles, but have never met, you know, and everyone gets a chance to do that here. Yeah.
They're just there to make it more accessible for normal guys like us to get them. So I think it's awesome, and the venue's getting bigger and better. More and more people are coming. The first time I went there, I waited 4.5 hours in the queue, all the way around the block to get in. I got in, and I didn't even leave with a pair of shoes because they had nothing in my size. But the fact that I went there, I was happy. Networked with a whole bunch of different people. And now I know more people in the whole scene. So if I need customizing jobs or anything like that, I know who to call now. You know what I mean? So it's dope.
We've been at the last 5 events and it's getting better every time. It's nice and organised this time. But there's more and more people come in, there's more girls come in, which is good. Yeah, it's really nice for us to come out and see lots of like-minded people, customers, people coming from all over. Spoke to a few people today that have got coaches down, planes down. Yeah, it's good.
It's getting very big, very, very big online. It can only get bigger and bigger. And this is my first year, but I stay locked online, and I've seen the progression. It can only go big and big and big, and it's evident. Online is where it's at, and if you come here, it's just phenomenal. The culture is just huge. You know what I mean? It's just evident. You see it, and when you come here, like something like this, it's deep. It's very deep. It's too deep. It's deep. The kick culture is just crazy, insane.
The more the culture, like, everyone's becoming an entrepreneur, so like people are creating new things. People are coming into it a bit easier. From the youngest of kids, you see like 12-year-olds walking around. Like, I don't know, it's growing quite popular, I reckon. Like, even for myself, learning how to make things by myself, self-taught situation, it's getting popular, man. Yeah. Communities on Facebook and stuff like that, they're always talking to each other, relating stuff, and everyone keeps close. No one tries to rip each other off. There's a few silly people out there, but everyone keeps close, and they keep a tight community. Yeah, definitely.
It's just gotten more and more out there, especially because of social media and stuff like that. It's becoming more commonly acceptable to, like, for someone to just talk about a whole load of shoes, or someone to be like, oh yeah, I had to go get these pair of shoes, this, that, and the other, because I guess people know more about the whole sneaker culture. But then with that, there's a whole load of people that just want to be the man and want to be talked about, want to be a center of attention with disposable funds, and they can just do that. So yeah, there's good and bad, but like in general, like for the true sneakerheads, it's just getting more and more better. Because with Crep City and stuff like that, you go there to get bargains on shoes that you would never really possibly get anywhere else.
I think that if people buy to resell, I can sort of understand why they do it. For people that I've seen do it, I think they often resell limited edition ones so they can eventually get their grail, you know, like the all-time favourite trainer. I can understand it from that perspective, but then at the same time, I think, you know, you've got a lot of people that are, you know, just normal people that want to queue, you know, like everyone else, and just to ensure that they get their trainers. So it's a bit of a, don't get me wrong, I've been screwing before because I really wanted a pair of trainers, and someone else has obviously, I've had to pay resale values on like a lot of them. Probably like the top 3 or 4 that I wanted, over £200, probably over the retail price, just to secure them. I'm not a massive Air Max 1 fan. But the older shape ones with the mini swoosh, such as this one, the Pata cords, they were released in a pack for the 5th anniversary of Pata, which is a shop in Holland. It's one of the most sought after Air Max ones, but it's hard to find them in a decent condition. I treated myself for my birthday this year. I managed to find them in immaculate condition, and they cost me $350. But you know, I regard these as a collector's piece. You know, probably would never sell them.
All right, so here we have the Universal Studios replica of the Nike Air Mags. Pretty dope. I've already done my fair share of customizing. They came with like a more of a boot toe, like more of a rounded toe, and the originals have more of a slim toe. So with a little bit of research and stuff like that, I've done my own fair share of customizing and made it more closer to the original. Lights are on here. Probably can't see with all the light, but yeah, I'm hoping possibly, because realistically, I'm probably not going to be able to get the Air Mags. And if I ever was to ever be given a chance, if I was to win a competition, I was to tell them I'm size 15 US, they'll probably be like, damn, they don't come in that size. So this is probably my closest attempt at getting some mags. So I know some people online, and they have ways of customizing it to make it as close to the original. So like, yeah, some people would say they're fake, but nah, these are like licensed replicas. So they're not like some Chinaman made it, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, dope shoes, super comfy. Put the light off. And like, yeah, they're like iconic, you know what I mean? They are the fucking Back to the Future ones.
It's more not just having the shoes, it's having the knowledge as well. I think it's important, for me anyway. I think it's quite easy for someone to go out and buy, you know, if you've got disposable cash, that you can go buy a pair of Yeezys, or you can buy a rare pair of Air Maxes or something like that, and you know, you can be involved in, I think you're involved in it, but I think there goes a lot more to it than that. I think, you know, it's important. You meet a lot of people through it. I think, you know, you can, like I say, you can go to all these events and listen to what people's stories, and you know, people have like had mad crazy, you know, like campouts for like days trying to secure their own trainers. You know, and I think there's, like I say, knowledge is a big part of it for me. You can't just, you have to have that knowledge with it. I don't think you can just wear the shoes.
I remember a friend of mine told me this saying a couple of years back. There's 2 things you can spend a lot of money on without any guilt. That's a bed and footwear. Because if you're not standing, you're going to be on your back sleeping. So you need to be like on the most comfortable levels and be comfortable with what you've got on.